over 16,000 words in 80 pages? Welcome to Dynasty Mode. What up, family? You already know who it is, and I'm back with the much anticipated news pertaining to Dynasty Mode on college football. Now look, there is a ton of information that was given to us by EA, man. It was over 16,000 words, man, 80 pages of information. So what I'm going to do, instead of making a 2-hour video, I'm going to break these videos down in segments just to make it easier for you to get and refer back to once the game comes out if you need some information on something. So what we're going over first is going to be coaching, which is the most important thing in Dynasty, is coaching. So that's what we're going to hit first. But before we get into all that, you already know what I need you to do. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, man. It's only a thumb movement. I will be giving away the ultimate edition of College Football 25 on July 10th to one of my lucky subscribers. It could be you. Now let's get into this info. So first things first, let's talk about building a dynasty, man. So EA states that they talked to members of the community, college football experts, and coaches, and read hundreds of blogs and posts to get what they needed to come up with the information that they have now, and to come up with these 3 core pillars of the game, which is build your coach, build your program, and deliver the world of college football. So when you talk about build your coach, that's basically saying no matter where you start, what position you start in, every decision you make will be critical to your journey. When you build your program, this will rely on your ability to recruit and do so at a high level. You need to be able to reload instead of rebuilding each year. And delivering the world of college football, that's set out to recreate the ever-changing world of college football and provide us with the tools to customize our experiences. They wanted to make sure they satisfied the core community because this is their game. Not like Madden fanboys, but true college fans who will still be playing after August 15th, if you know what I'm saying. So let's talk building your coach. EA met with multiple coaches and experts trying to break down real-life coaches and answer a few questions like, what was their identity, what made them great, and what was their journey to get where they are today. From this information, they were able to come up with 3 main categories that these coaches fit in. Some were incredible recruiters, other were motivators who could maximize their potential of their players, and lastly, tacticians who can out-scheme their opponent with on-field X's and O's. We all know with a great coach, there is a great staff behind him, and no coach is great at everything. EA put this in the game as well, making staff selection crucial to the success of your program. Now let's talk coaches progression. The way you progress your coach is by playing games. You will get XP that helps you level up to the max level of 50. You will also be awarded coaches points, and they can be used to upgrade your abilities as a coach. There are 4 Coach XP goal categories. There's draft, which is based off of where your players are drafted. Game, this is your in-game performance. Recruiting, this is how well you recruit and if you're getting signing 5-star recruits or not. And then stats, this is your weekly goals and accomplishments, i.e. being ranked in the top 10 or completing 4,000 passing yards within the season, or winning national championships, or winning 5 national championships. All these things is how you're going to get XP. This information is available in the Coaches tab in the Dynasty Hub. Each time a goal is completed in a game, you will get a notification on the screen. After completing a game or advancing a week, you will receive an XP summary showing your progression. Now let's go over coach archetypes. All coaches will start off with the base class or coach archetype: recruiting, motivation, and scheme. You can excel at one or can have a hybrid coaching style and be strong in multiple areas, but you won't master all of them. You can only master either one or be strong in other areas. To become an elite archetype like program builder or CEO is a combination of on-field success and ability progression. There is no single formula to reach these statuses. In total, there are 11 different archetypes, each with their own focuses and perks. They have a paper, rock, scissors relationship, meaning there is no dominant archetype. Once you purchase an ability, you will not be able to go back and switch it. So choose wisely. For you to upgrade your archetype, you must complete prerequisites and objectives to be able to purchase them. For example, If you want to be an elite recruiter, you must spend 50 coach points in the recruiting archetype and also sign 2 top 5 recruiting classes. So this will not be done in just one season. Remember that you really must build. Once you do it, the archetype will be able to be purchased with the coach's points. Each archetype has a perk when active. Your active archetype is the one you spent the most coaches points in. If you own Program Builder or a CEO archetype, there will also be active archetypes regardless of how many coaches points you've spent in other archetypes. All owned coaches' abilities are always on, regardless of which archetype is currently active. You can view progression in Dynasty Hub selecting Coaches tab. Within the screen, you can see all available archetypes, their unlock requirements and perks, and your overall progression in each archetype. Man, I didn't say archetype a lot. As you spend more coaches points, the spider graph will change to show your coach's DNA. Okay, so when you spoke about coach's ability, now let's see how these abilities work. EA introduced 50 coach abilities, and each ability has a 4-tier system, and each tier has a purchase cost associated with it. Every archetype except for the Scheme Guru, Program Builder, and CEO has their abilities broken down by position group. This increases the level of depth and specialization each coach has. Dynasty is going to be crazy. Your staff will be key because depending on who you hire, that will reflect on your coach's specialization and specific position groups, increasing the importance of hiring the right coaches for the job. There are also coach abilities with core gameplay effect. For example, the Scheme Guru archetype focuses on the gameplay style. If you are a coach who likes to play fast, you can upgrade fast tempo offense, providing you with the following boosts. Battery Pack Tier 1. Offensive players fatigues, slower, in a hurry up. Caught napping Tier 2. Increased delay to defenders looking to the sideline on the snap. On the heels Tier 3. Team composure boost for first downs gained while running hurry up. And Tipped Your Hand Tier 4. Chance to see the defense's cover shell in hurry up. You can also make your team a well-oiled machine with the unfazed by crowds by upgrading discipline and communication ability. Hater Blocker Tier 1. Slightly reduces the crowd noise impact on the road. Teflon Tier 2. Significant reduction of crowd noise impact on the road. Polish Tier 3. Offensive player will commit slightly fewer penalties. Clean Sheet Offense Tier 4. Offensive players will commit a significantly fewer amount of penalties. Before you get upset, there are defensive counters to all of these as well. Everything has balance. There is a counter to all offensive play style abilities, so the defense has a counter for those, so don't get upset. Program Builder and CEO archetypes are different in that they are only available for head coaches. The abilities within them are diverse and range from roster management and program culture to home field advantage and recruiting pipeline boosts. Now let's talk coordinators. Both coordinators and head coaches have the same set of abilities and archetypes available to them, leading to a natural progression from coordinator to head coach and increased importance of staff management, where your coordinators either complement your strengths or shore up your deficiencies. All the abilities your coaching staff owns stacks together, increasing the effect and ability. Abilities owned by the head coach have the greatest impact. You must make sure that the abilities your coordinators have match the side of the ball they're on. Your defensive coordinator can have an ability boost for a QB, but it won't have the same effect as an OC having that same ability. If you are a head coach, your coordinators will automatically progress their archetypes and abilities. You will not be able to control which ability they purchase, nor will you be able to respect their abilities as well. This adds even more importance to how you coach and manage your staff in the coaching carousel. You will be able to view your coordinator's abilities. You can press R3, which is dope to me. You can press R3 and it will show an overlay of all 3 coaches' spider graphs so that you can see where you may be short at and where you may be strong at, to where you may need to fix some things. I think that's a dope touch. So now we got climbing the coaches ladder. When starting a dynasty, you will have the option to be a head coach or a coordinator. All roles have performance expectations. All roles will have full control of recruiting and playing both sides of the ball. So no longer can you just pick to be an OC and only be on offense, or be a pick DC and only be on defense. Regardless of what you pick, you will still have control over the full game, which I also think is a good touch. When you sign a contract with a school, your expectations could be one of the four: win so many games, win a conference championship, make the college football playoffs, or it could be win a national title. Your job security will fluctuate depending on your team's performance. If you are fired by a school, you will have to look for another job in the coach carousel, so meeting or exceeding your expectations creates job security. You can also turn to get fired off if you don't know what you're doing, or you just want to stick with a certain school, which I understand. Wins and losses are not created equally. If you lose to a team you're not supposed to, this will definitely hurt your job security, and you will take a big hit from there. So win the games you're supposed to win. Now let's talk coach carousel. This is a nice touch, basically allowing other schools to send you an offer to try and get you to leave your current job or current school. This is a 5-week experience, and it starts in the conference championship week. During this week, schools will determine who they want to keep and who they're going to let go. And if they let someone go, then obviously there's going to be a job opportunity available. Within that first bowl week, the job offers will go out to all coaches. Now, if you get let's say a job from a very low tier school and you don't like it, you don't have to accept it. Just go to the next week, and believe it or not, it's going to be a different schools that may reach out to you. So you have 5 weeks of this, so it can actually change per week. When offered a job, you will see what happened to the previous coach, and you will see the top candidates for the job. You will see the contract as well as the expectations. Once you accept an offer, you will stay with your current school until the end of the national championship game, which is when all job changes are preceded. If you sign a contract with a team before the completion of the carousel weeks, you can get a jump start and start hiring staff for your next school. So basically what that means is this: if I sign with a school week 1, then those last 4 weeks, I can go ahead and start sending out job offers to OCs and DCs to try to build my staff. So let's talk about how schools determine who they want to hire. Schools have their own persona, which determines what they are looking for from their next head coach. Schools evaluate candidates across the following criteria. Level. The higher the coach level, the more powerful they are and more abilities they have. Schools always want to look for the highest caliber coach. Then it's the scheme, looking for coaches who run specific styles of offense and defense. Then obviously it's the archetype. Schools have a preference on the type of coach that they are looking for. Then there's the pipeline. Schools prefer coaches that have the same pipeline as they do for recruiting. And then you have coach prestige. Coach's prestige is compared against the school's team prestige. Big schools will not hire low-tier coaches. Just not going to happen. Now let's talk about the most important thing you got as a head coach: managing your staff. Managing your staff. As a head coach, you can hire and fire your staff. You can only fire your coordinators during the conference week championship. That's the only week. If you do not fire that joker, you're stuck with him for the next season. So within that week is where you can fire that joker. Coordinators will leave though if they get a better job offer. So let's say your coordinator's done a great job. Y'all going to the national championship and y'all in y'all conference championship week. Another school can send them an opportunity to be a head coach. And if that coordinator accepts that job, then they'll stay with you until the end of the national championship run or however far y'all may go. But then after that, that coordinator will now be the head coach at that school. So just like in real life, you can lose your staff. So man, we're going to have to stay on top of that. I ain't going to lie though, I think that's a dope touch to the game because you can never get complacent with who's on your staff, because if they do real well, and let's say you start winning 2 or 3 national championships in a row, obviously people are going to pull from you and they're going to take your coordinators away. And so then by them doing so, that just leaves for you to have to go ahead and hire someone that's a fit for your system and how you run it. So it's always going to keep it fresh. It's never going to get dull and boring, which I do like. So we're always going to be on our toes with this. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I think this is a very nice touch, especially with all these things we got to do as coaches. It gives you that real college football feel. You really sitting in that seat and you got to know who's doing what, who's responsible for what. I feel like this is a very, very nice touch. And so we're going to be on Dynasty mode for years and years to come. And I love how they did it. But let me know what you think, man. Go ahead and tell me in the comments below if you like this or not. If you think this is too in-depth or you just want to pick up and play the game. Because if you just want to do that, they also have modes for you. But Dynasty is for those die-hard fans that want to get it out the trenches. And I'm one of those. I'm trying to really get it out the trenches. But you already know what I'm about to say, man. If you like the content, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. Help your boy out. And you already know we finna get right to the next subject. So don't worry, that video is on the way. And if ain't nobody told you they love you today, man, just know that Jesus loves you. Peace and love.